Hello. So I'm coming to you from my office, not my usual video set. Um, and to tell you that our topic today was to be about compensatory services and a new federal lawsuit that was just filed Monday in Hawaii against the Hawaii Department of Education. And it is a very interesting lawsuit. Keith Peck, who is the attorney who's representing several different families in Hawaii, for this, is the attorney that filed the lawsuit on Monday, was to be with us this afternoon, but guess what? He had to go to a virtual IEP meeting. So yes, even attorneys get called away to go to online IEP meetings. So we are rescheduling it for next week, and we will be talking about this federal lawsuit, how it might impact you, even though you're not in Hawaii, or you might be living in Hawaii, and how this could impact you. And what's interesting is the attorney who brought this lawsuit, Keith Peck, wanted to actually try to help the Department of Education so they are not inundated with all of these requests in the fall for compensatory services, which may take many hours of IEP meetings. And then if there's not any kind of resolution, state complaints, mediations, maybe due process. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could be taking teachers' time away from the classroom while they talk about compensatory services. So Keith's idea was that if the Department of Education, or if the court in this case, could set up some parameters about what compensatory services would look like, what the criteria would be, how you would decide, the amount of time that different students would get, and that parents could opt in, it sounds like, to this plan, and they wouldn't have to individually advocate for their child to receive compensatory services. So I have some questions I'm anxious to ask the attorney in this case to try to understand it better. I do have the link in here, and I'll make sure that you see it, where you can go read the newspaper article from Hawaii outlining kind of the background of this lawsuit. And then also there's a document attached to that newspaper story where you can read the actual complaint that was filed Monday morning in federal court. So this, even though it's a lawsuit for the Hawaii Department of Education, it could have an impact on lots of students, especially students in the Ninth Circuit, which I'm in Idaho, so we're in the Ninth Circuit here, but also for students across the country. And I think there's some pros and there's some questions about it. One of the big questions I have that I'm waiting to ask the attorney Keith Peck about is, how does this impact, the parents and or the students' rights if they decide to use some kind of, an agreement that the court or the Department of Education has come up with as far as what compensatory education services would look like? And so, yeah, like I said, I've got questions. Unfortunately, the attorney is in an IEP meeting right now. So we will postpone this show we'll reschedule until next week, and I will give you the details. But in the meantime, if you have questions about compensatory education, if you have gotten anything in writing from your school district, I know there are some school districts and some states that have already told parents, yes, we plan on having meetings when school resumes about compensatory services. So I would love to know if that's one of your districts or your states that you're living in. And we will be back here next week, and we will have the attorney, Keith Peck, for this lawsuit against Hawaii Department of Education on as our guest, and we'll be able to answer a lot more specific questions. So until then, like I said, look at the link in the post and you can find out more about this federal lawsuit. So you guys have a good day, and we shall see you later.